Welcome to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I do not like squirrels.
And
I'm like,
the cone of shame.
No.
And tonight we are continuing our discussion of all things Pixar by talking about the next movie in our list, 2009's Up.
Yes, which I just finished watching again.
Okay. I finished it this morning, actually. I kind of took it in two parts just because it's usually on at work or while I'm working. And I had I had to do a break because I do have to actually, work. But
I had to work, which is why I couldn't watch it before work.
True. Well, at least you had time to watch it now.
Yes.
It's a tidy, just under 2 hour long. Actually, it's only an hour and a half.
Hour 36 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Total.
Which actually makes it one of the shorter of the phase 2 Pixar movies when you consider that the Incredibles movies ran close to 2 hours, and a lot of those movies kind of run
I'm
closer to it. I mean, I'm sure that you could ask the Googles what the longest and the shortest Pixar feature length movies are.
WALL-E was 97 minutes.
Okay.
Ratatouille was 111 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Toy Story 3 is loading. Toy Story 3 is 103 minutes. So technically, of these bunch, it is the shortest by 1 minute.
Right. Now I'm curious. I'm going to look up longest Pixar movie is The Incredibles.
The first Incredibles?
No, the second one. I'm sorry. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Huh.
Yep. And now shortest.
But does that include that was that the
It does not include the mea culpa they put in front.
Okay.
Okay, the shortest Pixar movie. All right. Pixar runtime, shortest to longest. Here we go.
If I had to guess, it would be Toy Story.
Toy Story. Just a second.
Toy Story 1 is 81 minutes.
81 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Actually, according to this, it's 76 minutes. Brave is 84 minutes. Monsters Inc. is 85 minutes, 8 seconds. Toy Story 2 is 85 minutes, 32 seconds. So, yeah, the longest would be The Incredibles 2 at... All right, that's weird, because they're saying Incredibles 2 is 107 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't even think that's right. So let's move on to talking about Up, shall we?
Yeah.
So, we decided that we were going to put ourselves through the ringer and rewatch Up this week. Which is always a really good thing to do, especially after the year we've had that, we can just endure a little more tragedy. So they need to release a Snyder cut of The Incredibles.
No, because we don't want it more dour and dark and
I truly do not want to see Mr. Incredible become the villain, because that was the Randian scheme all along.
Yeah.
That you could be their hero, you could be their savior. Or don't. You don't owe the world anything. Superman, ladies and gentlemen. Up. Okay, so no, you saw this in the theater, right?
No. This one I did not see in theater.
Okay. I did. Autumn and I saw it after we had a conversation with her cousin and her cousin's husband, who was like, I took a bunch of 10-year-olds to go see this movie, and then spent the entire movie making sure that the 10-year-old girls did not see me cry.
I timed it the first 11 and a half minutes. Exactly. It's like 11 minutes, 30 seconds. And it's just some of the best animated film ever. It didn't impact me as much this rewatch time, because you can prepare yourself for it. First time you see it, nothing prepares you for that.
Right. In and of itself, that opening is its own movie. It is a Pixar short that you could just put it on Disney Plus as the Pixar short.
Yeah.
What I tried to do this time around while watching it was not put that piece, which is the piece that everybody talks about, in context with the rest of the movie. As last year I had a conversation with Tom and Alex and about our Pixar movies, where we would rank our Pixar movies as parents. I know Alex was not high on Up. He was not up on Up. Mainly because it really boils down to it's that scene, and then what do you have after that? Now again, I could be misinterpreting what Alex is trying to say there, but it is true that is, whenever you talk about Up, what do you talk about? You talk about that 11 minutes and 30 seconds of some of the best character building and most powerful cinema I've seen in years. You say so much without saying a single word.
Well, I mean, they do have the words like until they get married, and after that, it's silent.
Right, but even still, the only person who's really speaking in the entire thing is Ellie. She never lets
Yeah.
Carl get a word in edgewise.
I think he says "wow," and that's about it.
Yeah, he says "wow," yeah, but the whole but yeah, I mean, it seems like that part is cute, but it's just their courtship, their marriage, their everything.
Yeah,
is the powerful filmmaking, and it is incredibly powerful filmmaking, and can really and coupled with Michael Giacchino's score, which is his only nomination and his only win.
Really? Wow.
Crazy, isn't it?
Seems like he should have gotten more than that.
Yeah, he's kind of gone off to do, like, he's the next John Williams, essentially.
Yeah.
He is doing more and more on the blockbuster scale. He did the Jurassic World movies. He did Rogue One.
Yeah.
So he is definitely he's in that good company right now. But this was, I mean, the music is a very important part of this. It's funny too, because about 2 years ago was the last time I was at the Magic Kingdom. They're actually playing the Up riff. You know,
oh yeah,
they played on Main Street.
Yeah, actually, it's down my car, but I've got like the Disneyland and Disney World soundtrack, you know, and they actually have the theme from Up for the Main Street USA part.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, I tried watching the movie essentially from Carl getting out of bed and watching it from there without having to consider the rest of that. And what I found was I still really enjoyed the movie. Its lifeblood is that 11 and a half minutes. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. And I still think that they did just a bang up job with Carl. You know, right now watching somebody very close to me, my mother-in-law, going through the stages of grief right now, watching like what Carl would do, like when he would go out to the mailbox, the first thing he did when he went to go get the mail was put his hand on top of where Ellie's paint hand was. Like he's holding her hand. And he did what my wife said her grandfather did after her grandmother died, which was you talk to the pictures, you talk to the house as if your spouse is still there, because that's how you function. So in terms of a study of a grieving spouse, it is the work they did with Carl, and the fact Ed Asner is just his voice is timeless because he's always been 80 years old. He is really fantastic in this.
I guess like the writers got a lot of inspiration from his role as Lou Grant, because as Lou Grant, he kind of balanced the curmudgeonly with still caring.
Right, and that's Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore, not when they gave him his own hour-long drama.
No.
Also on CBS. I never got that. I was like, why are you doing this to Lou Grant? But yeah, no, I think the voice is perfectly with the character design.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Even as Lou Grant, he was 80 years old. Yeah, exactly. He's never aged, by which he was born as an old man. And I'm very happy he's still with us. You know, because it's just fun listening, because now he's just a curmudgeon at this point, and he's just been this character for 50 plus years. I recently watched on the Wrestling with Regret channel on YouTube, a movie from, I think it was 1971. I
Mhm.
want to say 71 or 73. It was an early 70s odd year movie called The Wrestler with Vern Gagne. And Ed Asner actually plays like this booker who's trying to book his matches. And it's poorly filmed, and it's a vanity project for essentially a 60-year-old man to still consider himself to be the world champion, which for wrestling, old school wrestling fans, true story. Vern Gagne was booking himself as the champion well into the 80s. But just because he was the same thing. He was just essentially he's Lou Grant, you know. He had a little bit more salt and pepper in his hair than just the white, but I really enjoyed his Carl.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good and very touching and believable that he would eventually have to let go of that. Again, that's part of the stages of overcoming grief, is having to let go of certain things. And I know Catherine had brought up about the pictures. Because sometimes that's all you have, and those pictures are essentially sitting on the edge of a cliff in Paradise Falls.
I mean, to be fair, I like I said, I just watched it. So when they show all the junk on the Paradise Falls, you do not see the book. And when he's flying, when he's flying in the house, you don't see the book. So he may have it on the dirigible somewhere.
He might have it on. Yeah, have that. You know, and they do kind of show, like, they show the scrapbook. So I don't know if that scrapbook that they showed during the credits is the same scrapbook that they were looking at. You know, that's whatever fan theory you want to make. I thought he was really good. I thought the concept with the dogs was fantastic.
Especially Alpha.
Alpha. Well, everything about the dogs that I liked about that was that it was translated in such a literal sense, kind of like Drax, where essentially it's taking word syntax and just putting it out there in the most literal sense of the word. Huh?
If a dog could speak,
yeah,
that's pretty much what they would be saying.
Yep.
I love it temporarily.
Yeah. And I love that, though. I love that you know, a dog's emotions really, you know, they really came through in that. And yes, the whole thing with Alpha's voice, the faulty voice box, was really fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, Doug is he's a fun character because, you know, the whole squirrel thing, because, you know, I remember this was years ago. We were at a party at my aunt's house, and Michael's mother was in a walker, and she had the tennis balls on there. And my sister got a new puppy, and the puppy is just like on its side, like on those tennis balls. I'm like, uh-oh. Someone tell Mother Chase that the dog is near her walker.
That's exactly what Doug did.
Yep, exactly.
Very well. Very well.
Yeah. All right. Can I say how much I dislike Russell?
I mean, Russell's fine. He serves his purpose very well, I think.
I think the biggest thing I have, the biggest issue I have, is when he is being serious, when he's talking about, like, you know, the crappy relationship he's got with his dad. I really felt some genuine, you know, empathy for the kid. But you expect me to believe that he is such a dedicated scout. He's got every badge but one, but he's fairly incompetent at basic scouting.
I mean, he can't build a tent.
Can't build a tent. I'm honestly surprised he hadn't actually been camping to the point where he would have to actually, you know, do you dig first before you go to the bathroom, or do you dig after?
I mean,
the answer, by the way, is first. Dig first.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he built that fire that they had when they camped out.
Yeah. I just felt like he was so eager to please that he just came across as being competent. The thing with the GPS, just the kind of being there and in the way, and, you know, the nonstop talking and everything. And you know, it is what it is. You know, he does kind of bring Carl around and able to get him to kind of let go.
Yeah. And the voice for him, Jordan the guy.
Yeah.
Apparently he did like this and he did like one episode of The Simpsons, and that's all he's ever done. He quit. He did 2 years. I mean, he was like 8 or 9 when this. He was 9 when this movie came
Right.
out. He was 8 when they probably recorded it, and he hasn't done anything since.
It's got to be tough. Still better character in Short Round. I was just gonna bring up Short Round actually.
I disagree because I like Short Round.
Oh, I can't stand Short Round. That entire movie is like Indiana Jones and the Temple of the noises that won't stop.
Well, I mean, when you compare Short Round to Willie, Short Round any
that's the
day.
thing, though. It's like the Reese's peanut butter cup of awful sounds. It's like, you got my Willie in my all right, you got my Short Round in my Willie. You got my Willie in my Short Round.
Wow, that could be taken a whole wrong way.
That's why I stopped myself.
Yeah.
It's just this, and even in the Goonies, I mean, God bless the kid for getting roles like that in the mid 80s when it was pretty much generally accepted. And even with the Goonies had their token Asian stereotype phrasing. They didn't have to have a token black kid in the Goonies. Because they could have easily gotten away with an entirely white Goonies. Just saying, it was 1985.
And it was
and that's gotta be tough, especially for kid voice actors. To not really go on to do much else. Once your voice changes, that completely changes the game.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got Christopher Plummer
as Muntz, yeah.
As Muntz, yeah.
I mean, he's a. Hold on.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Cat butt.
I feel like, well, first of all, I want to know, how old is Muntz?
He's
got to have at least 20 years on Carl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, is like kind of like very Charles Lindbergh-esque. I mean, the movie itself actually takes place in 1977.
The movie?
Up takes place in like 1976, 1977.
They had GPS.
But yeah, but it during the end credits, it has a picture of
Star Wars?
Yeah. At the theater.
That could be a re-release. The GPS thing and the people on cell phones, like the construction guys on cell phones, negates that argument.
Then this movie has a very odd timeline.
It's kind of like The Incredibles, where it could be taking place in the 50s, it could be taking place now.
Yeah. I think there is actually a newspaper where they have the date on it somewhere.
Okay. But the thing with Muntz is there was some motivation I really liked about Muntz. I love the fact that he is still trying, after all these years, trying to just restore his good name. That's all he wants, is just to restore his good name. That, the Snipes, it was Attack of the Clones.
No, it's Star Wars.
It did say Star Wars on there, and if it was 2009, we wouldn't even have a Star Wars movie. I wanted to say it was a re-release. It was not outside of the realm of possibility that we would have had a Star Wars re-release. And it was 2000. Actually, it was 2009. That was 3 years before the Disney acquisition.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Disney's always had a good relationship with Star Wars or with Lucasfilm. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I think also just, to just coat the ego of the lazy animator, it's way easier just to put Star Wars up there than Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, or, Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, or something.
But I mean, Charles Muntz. I mean, it just seems like he's like gone kind of like very, very paranoid in his isolation.
Well, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, dogs talk. He talks to dogs.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it is implied he sends many off to their doom.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
he comes out and says it, like he
I've
lost so
lost
many
so many
dogs.
dogs. Yep.
Yeah,
Um.
but he's also killed several people.
Yes. Yes, he has. All the people that came to Paradise Falls. So yeah, he's definitely. It's funny because with Pixar movies, you very rarely get a villain, like an actual, honest to god antagonist. You get
Yeah,
like, what is your antagonist? Oh, it's my own self doubt. Um, Wally. I mean, the closest thing to an antagonist they had was Otto.
yeah.
Um, but for the most part, Pixar movies deal with just this major strand of character development. Um, is he part of the Soviet space program? Affirmative. Um, I. It's funny. There are things about months I think are really really interesting. Again, Carl is got to be what 80, so that makes him 100. Makes him 100 upright. Uh, able to wield the sword. Even though I love that scene. I love
Yeah,
that fight scene where they both try to do something and their backs both go out at the same time.
yeah. It's two really old men just trying to act like younger men.
Right, right. And then the last character is the house. I mean, the house in and of itself is a character. It was the selling point
Yeah,
of the movie. Um, in that weird type of thing that Pixar would do, where they would show you this is what the movie's about. It's a guy in a flying house, and it's like, it's not that at all. Because then 11 and a half minutes into the movie, you're like, when does the house fly?
yeah. I mean, they're really only in the house for 20 minutes of the movie,
Right.
maybe at most.
But it's interesting because I like the concept of the house, and I think the house is what makes this like a Pixar movie.
That's
It's
fair.
just
Yeah,
able to float a house on 1,000 hot air balloon in a thousand helium balloons.
yeah. Just that one element of like just exaggerated reality.
Right, exactly. Before you get into a more grounded story,
Yeah,
with the dogs with the talking collars and the snipe. Um,
Kevin.
Kevin, yes, Kevin's a girl. How's that possible? Uh,
I mean, anything. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, it saddens me a little bit because it is like that scene is so good.
Mm.
It's so amazing, and the movie in and of itself is very good. This doesn't come close to the worst things that Pixar
No, no.
can do, or even like the mediocre side. This is still a really good movie.
Yeah,
It's just that I think over the course of time, over the course of thinking about scrutinizing and then rewatching it, I'm like, this used to be a top 5 for me, and it's kind of like it's come down a bit.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't dislike this movie. I
no.
really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie, but I mean, like that first 11 and a half minutes are just so like almost perfection, and the rest of the movie, comparatively speaking, does not kind of live up to the promise that first 11 and a half minutes gives you.
Right,
Not it's not bad,
right,
but like if you had like some like for me, if you made like the first 11 and a half minutes and then took the rest of the movie as like it's just a quick like shot action montage, then and just made like a 20-minute Pixar short, I think it would have been actually a little bit more effective.
it's that's tough. I think that you do want to see Carl's story go full circle on this, and I don't feel like taking the story like the 11 and a half minutes and spreading it out over the entire movie. I don't think that works either. Mainly because I don't feel like those scenes are effective. Those shots within the montage within that 11 and a half minutes is as effective if it's spread out in between squirrel jokes and Kevin and the talking dogs and the flying house and all that. That stuff, in order for that story to be told, the Carl and Ellie story to be told, has to be done all at once. It has to be done wordlessly. It has to be done with the music. It has to be done at the very beginning of that movie.
Oh yeah. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying have that 11 and a half minutes, and then have the rest of the movie just condensed down into like maybe an 8-minute, just kind of like montage.
That's tough. That is really. It's almost like you cut out a lot of stuff in the middle, and then you just have Carl rediscover the book and rediscover, see what Ellie wrote to him prior to her dying. Now go have your own adventure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I would recut this movie. And again, I still enjoyed this movie. I had a good time watching it. I like for the most part, I like the characters. I just wish it had held up a little better,
How about this? From in this kind of like the golden era of Pixar that we've kind of dubbed it as, where does Up stand in that?
It's all right. So, and we're talking from, we started Ratatouille, we ended Toy Story 3, right?
Yes, we've got Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3.
It's 4 movies, so it is number 4.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
Yeah. And again, it's because Ratatouille is one of my absolute favorites, and I love WALL-E. And
Toy Story 3, we'll get to
hurt me very badly. We'll get to that next week, though.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed this.
It's still in the golden era,
right?
It's still one of those gems, but it's just of those gems is the one with the least amount of shine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with that extra prestige. It's the first animated feature film to be nominated for Best Picture since Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. A fact that I know this is an unpopular opinion. A fact I feel that Beauty and the Beast rode on for a long time. Out of that first grouping of like the Disney Renaissance, it might be one of my least favorite of those movies. Only because Aladdin and the Lion King are so good that it's like, I go with this one.
Yeah, I love Beauty and the Beast, but yeah, I mean, for me, Aladdin and Lion King are always going to be top shelf.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they kind of bounce back and forth. Usually, it's Aladdin as my number one animated movie of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Lion King is usually just barely below that.
Somewhere in the neighborhood, right?
I mean, Beauty and the Beast is still really really up there, because it is an amazing movie. But it's yeah.
So it's got that to ride on it. It won Best Animated Feature. It won Score. Which last time, it's only happened twice for Pixar, and it happened this year. So the last time it won Best Animated and Score, not Song, but Score, was this year for Soul. Of course, Lion King is amazing. It's animated with Beth.
Yeah.
Except that, Scar didn't marry Sarabi. I'm sure that was in one of the...
And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern survived.
That's... You don't really see them die in Hamlet. You just hear about them dying. Okay, yep. This is it. My hat got stuck on my ponytail. Haircut's coming, folks. Yeah. Funny story about the hat, by the way. So yesterday, this is my Mickey Mouse hat. You can all see that there. I got this at Disney 2 years ago. This is my going around hat. This is my favorite hat. Yesterday, Autumn went out to do some gardening. She wore my hat, and I'm like, that looks really good on you. I'm gonna have to buy you one because I have 2 Disney hats. I have this one, which is my favorite. I bought it at the park, and one I bought on Amazon prior to my trip, and it is a red hat with a little Mickey Mouse on there. That was mistaken as a MAGA hat by somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, good for you." I'm like, "Oh God, no! I couldn't wear this hat. Why? Why?
Paint it blue."
I can't paint the hat blue. It's felt.
Dye it.
I don't know. I'm just so mad. It's like you ruined another thing. Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this hat, love this hat. So
We'll have to get you one that says Oswald.
yeah, I can't find them. I'm sure that they're around.
Yeah.
All right, folks. If you put it in the comments, if you see a hat that looks like this with the Mickey, like with the emblazoned thing, that's why I don't have any red hats. Yeah, it's the only. Actually, I own two. Actually, no, I only own one red hat. It's a Mickey hat, and I bought that prior to everything. Most of my hats are this, and I own a lot of blue hats because of, Red Sox. But Kurt's a Cub fan, so he understands the blue hat. So.
But yeah, no, if you can find any hat that looks like that, but with Oswald
Oswald
the
Lucky Rabbit. Oh, leave a link below, and I will totally buy that thing, and I will show it off, and I'll thank you personally for the shout out on that. So yeah, anything else we have to say about Up? Because I kind of, again, it's bumming me out to talk about it because it's like this is our therapy right now. I'm putting it into words that it's like, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. And I recognize that is the one thing that I came at with new eyes, coming at this after not seeing it for a few years, was watching somebody dealing with grief of the loss of a spouse. And I've seen that firsthand. So I can I better understand that. I kind of could see it in the movie before, but now I've really seen it, and it's like, oh yeah, man, the writers did a good job. The animators did a good job at just making those little moments, just touching whatever she would touch. I got to put my hand here. I got to put my hand here. Those kinds of things. Yeah. The only thing they did not do was that he did not grab a piece for clothing and just smell it, sniff it. Get that if it still smells like them. But yep. Apropos nothing, got to mention my favorite Easter egg. As anyone who's lived in the Bay Area knows, Fenton's, where Carl and Russell's went for ice cream, is real and a delicious place.
Yes, thank you, Jono.
Oh, that's awesome. So I want to see you guys. I want to see a picture of you two with the exact same flavors of ice cream, counting the red and blue cars.
Yeah, that's in the Bay Area, though. That's way up north.
That's right. It's nowhere near where Jono lives. Never mind.
That's like
nobody drives in California, so no one should be driving California. So
yeah, that's like Georgia up to Boston.
Yeah, I know. It's where California is essentially its own country, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, Mike, do you have anything else about Up?
It's still a very top shelf Pixar movie, just kind of on the lower tier of the top shelf.
Yeah.
Not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm glad I revisited it. I really am glad I revisited it. I'm glad I could watch it a little differently, and then removing that aspect from the movie and trying to watch it without the goggles of how amazing that 11.5 minutes is. I mean, that's the beauty of that scene. Is that scene alone is just like, that's the icing on here. That's the sizzle and the steak right there. So again, I like it. If you have not yet watched Up, do not take this as a negative review.
No, not at all.
It's definitely worth it to watch. I would not recommend watching it if you've recently lost a loved one. Please. But it is on Disney Plus, and you can watch it. And there's also a short as well, which will be immediately recommended to you. I think it's like Doug's.
Doug's something or other.
Doug's Great Adventure or something like that.
I got it right here. Well, I did have it right here.
Yeah. Okay. Now, it's been a while since you've been to Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah. Doug's Special Mission. There it is.
Doug's Special Mission. Okay.
Yeah.
At Disney's Animal Kingdom, they actually have like a prop Doug collar that will talk to you.
Yes, I have seen that, and I've also seen that they've got actually a Doug and Russell meet and greet.
They've got that. They also have the Wilderness Scouts.
Yes,
there's actually a free activity you can do throughout Animal Kingdom. So essentially it's like a scavenger hunt, and they give you like this little paper badge and everything. It's really cute. We did not complete that last time we went, so
I didn't do it because don't have any kids.
No. Yeah, and the thing with Animal Kingdom is that it's the only park where, like, it's because it's hotter than all the other parks. It's like, I can't stay here all day and do this. You want to go to the dinosaur? I can't. I want to go to the pool right now.
Oh, but I do love dinosaur though.
I still, see, it is the only ride I have yet to ride now.
Well, I like dinosaur a lot. I prefer it when it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Forbidden Eye, but dinosaur is still a really good ride.
Yep.
Seriously, well, they are pretty much the identical rides.
I actually heard about that. They are the same ride. I would take Indiana Jones anytime, and it's friggin' Animal Kingdom. They can still do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they would have to retheme Dinosaur Land, which I kind of hope that they do, because seriously, who puts a big old like carnival circus thing in the middle of Animal Kingdom?
Primeval World is also permanently closed, so it's like I always said, make that a Zootopia area, make it Wakanda, make it something other than Dino Land USA.
I think Wakanda could really work well.
I'm down for that.
And then they could just retheme dinosaur into something that Black Panther related.
You could actually go into the vibranium mines.
Ooh.
Oh.
Disney, call us right now. We will give you all the ideas.
Yes, please. All we want is lifetime admission. All the Ron World.
well, yeah, but it's all in one piece. What? Too soon? Too soon?
Okay, so that was Up. What were your thoughts on Up? Where does it rank in your favorite Pixar movies in just this phase 2 of Pixar? Which again, as we mentioned before, is always bookended by Cars movies for some odd reason. Where does it rank for you? Let us know. Leave a polite comment below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, because that is how we get our viewers, and eventually we will monetize, which is probably not going to happen anytime soon.
We need a lot of views to get that.
Yeah, I know. But Mike and I also host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. So Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, you name it, we are there. We are back to the studio tomorrow night, Wednesday. We are discussing our picks for our favorite fictional bands. So that'll be fun. If you want to get in on that action, follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio, and look at our pinned tweet that we are asking, what are your favorite fictional bands? I know Kurt, who's been contributing tonight, he has given us his picks. Doug and Russell are also to be found at Disney's California Adventure. Nice. The thing our California contingent has to tell us about, because I don't know.
I've been at Disney California Adventure. I just don't remember seeing Doug and Russell.
I've never seen them live at Animal Kingdom. In fact, the only I got to admit, last time I had meet and greets at Animal Kingdom,
Baloo.
I got Scrooge McDuck, which is fantastic, because he's never out there.
No.
And I got on our first trip with Scarlett, Baloo and King Louie.
Of course, you got Baloo.
Of course, I got Baloo. I've not seen Baloo since. That kills me. It was right after the release of the Jungle Book live action, though.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's where you can find us. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. Share the video if you like what you see. We will be back next week when we really tug at the heartstrings and talk all about Toy Story 3.
Yeah, remember how I said I was prepared for the Up, so it didn't really hit me as hard. Yeah, Toy Story 3 you can't prepare for.
No, you cannot.
I just watched I watched just that clip for our emotional Disney moments. Oh, it still gets me every single time.
It's rough. It is really rough. So anyway, chin up, everybody. And until next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful.